Hey y'all, welcome to Vetted and Vet Med, the podcast where two African American female veterinarians pull back the curtain on the life and the world of veterinary medicine. I'm Dr. Wilson.
And I'm Dr. Levy. Join us as we dive into real conversations about mental health, career transitions, work-life balance, and the unique experiences we face as Black women in veterinary medicine.
So go ahead, grab your stethoscope,
and get your favorite cup of coffee or wine, and let's get vetted in Vet Med.
With the cons of corporate medicine. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I do think everything has an expiration date.
For sure.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be 17 years.
Right.
It does not have to be 7 years or 7 months. Kind of like we talked about, you just kind of have to be able to transition through life because there's always going to be something new to experience. And you got to take these experiences as they come. Even after all of that, even after getting to the point where I would sit out in the car for, no lie, probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes before I came in. I used to be late.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, and I will be, and sometimes I'll be bawling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want to ruin a reputation that I have because I don't know what's going to happen if I go in there.
Yeah.
Meaning, I might get out of sorts.
Yeah.
Because somebody has disrespected me and y'all are not going to do anything about it. That's why I have to walk away. But I don't want anybody out there to listen to this and say, well, I don't want to work for corporate medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. Let's be honest, straight out the gate, if this is something that you want to do, if you want to pay back loans, if that's your focus, if you want to build a savings account or whatever, go for it. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a good mechanism to do it. They're gonna pay. But I don't want you to get caught up in the financial aspect of things because money will come where you're doing stuff that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
It might not come when you want it, but it's gonna come.
It's gonna be right on time.
It may not come when you want it, but we go work. Yeah, let me get past that. Yes, it may not come when you want it, but that it will come because you're passionate about doing what you do. And you're gonna meet some incredible people and you're gonna meet some incredibly awful people. It's just kind of life. You know, that's like walking through life. But you're gonna learn from each and every one of those people. Yeah. Whether it be a mirror or whether it be somebody that you have to hold a mirror up to. Those are just things that you're gonna experience in life, yes. But corporate medicine is definitely one of those things that it's gonna be the good and the bad. Yeah. It's a job. And one thing I know about a job is that you leave tomorrow, they'll be looking for your replacement for you hot out the door.
Yeah, they gonna find your replacement before. Yeah, they gonna find your replacement before you even
exactly
get there, whether you know or not. Because that definitely happened to me this most recent time. My replacement, I was working with my replacement in the last week or two. She was already in there, and she had already worked for the clinic before, so I'm pretty sure she knew what she was getting herself into. But it didn't surprise me, but it was funny.
Yeah. Hey, me. What's that?
Yeah, good. You are my replacement, and
it's. I just, I'm trying to focus in on the pros too, because like I said, you learn a lot. But I'm tainted. I'm tainted right now. In all honesty, I am. It's difficult. I was just having a conversation with Davita about, and I'm talking to y'all at this point about um, not being able to do relief work right now
Mhm.
because I don't have the mental capacity to walk into somebody else's clinic
Mhm.
because I don't know, what my experience is going to be. I don't want to put myself in that situation to where I have to be reactionary, um, especially in this climate right now
Mhm.
of all the things. So I just don't know what to expect. And it's hard for me because I think your girl got to make money.
Yeah.
Um, I did have a good conversation at the spay and neuter clinic that I work a couple of days a week yesterday. So, y'all stay tuned. Just putting out, good vibes into the atmosphere. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's it's hard once you've had the experiences that I've had in these clinics from the derogatory language for your your boss gaslighting you and making you feel like you are not doing the work that you know you are doing.
Mhm.
And needless to say, she heard about it because I definitely had a conversation with her about it.
Mhm.
Um, do not feel like you cannot approach people
Yeah.
with the real truth. There's a way to do it. And it was a real professional conversation, but I had to let her know that I knew what you said behind my back.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I really do not appreciate it. And so I don't know what this conversation or this relationship will look like from here on out.
Yeah.
But just, relish in the fact that it's a new experience. Um, you're going to learn a lot if you're willing to learn a lot.
Mhm.
And you don't have to deal with the mechanisms of owning your own business and ordering all the things. That's one good part, right?
Yeah.
Paying people or wondering when your next check is gonna come, or how to get these vaccines, or if this person wants this. Those are the things that you do have to understand about working, because they do everything for you. They pay for your DEA, they pay for, this, they pay for that. Of course, all corporations are different, but for the most part, they all do that. And that's where your safety net can be if and that's why I think that could be a good thing to do, especially coming out of school.
Yeah.
It's a good safety net.
Yeah. I think definitely coming out as either a new grad or like with my experience coming from lab animal. I mean, some of the things that you mentioned, they can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
But it is I feel like when you're working in a private practice setting, or even some of these private practices are bought out by corporate, but they still have that private practice like element to them,
Hmm.
are a little bit more personable, where I think in my experience with corporate, it's like the changes that I needed to see were not always immediate or they just didn't last long.
Yeah.
Mm. I
Yeah.
know when I first started, I was again fresh out of lab animal, had not worked in a clinic, setting as a doctor. And so I heavily emphasized when I was interviewing and applying for that corporate position, heavily emphasized mentorship so many times. And all of the
Do you hear me? Do
like,
you hear
I need to be mentored. I need help. This is a big transition for me. And of course, all that was guaranteed. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but there was no real plan. You would like to think that there was a real plan set in motion for me, but that was not the case.
They never had a plan.
There was not a real plan. There was another full-time vet that was there working with me, and I mean, honestly, I just made her essentially my mentor. Um,
Yeah.
just with, talking with her and the questions, and she was very kind, very helpful, but the person that was supposed to actually be mentoring me, that was, in leadership over both of us, I
Mm.
barely saw her. And then when COVID hit, they couldn't even come into the clinics at a certain point. So it had been months at one time where I never saw her. And, not having worked in that setting before, there were things that I just wasn't really familiar with. One of which was, different numbers and metrics that I was supposed to meet. I never was briefed over what the expectations of me, like I didn't
Yeah.
what targets I was supposed to be hitting. And I remember the first kind of like a performance eval that I had with her. She just was telling me, what my numbers were. And I remember asking for feedback on me, as a doctor, like
Mm.
personable feedback in how I could improve medicine, improve,
Mhm.
treatment plans or anything in that aspect. I wanted information about me as a doctor and my care and not numbers per se.
Yeah, because you're new to this. I'm trying to see
Right.
how I can, evolve into this general medicine from lab animal. Like,
Right. And
say
it
something, girl.
and I'm like, if I'm able to improve in those areas, then the numbers, they'll eventually match, and they'll improve. But that was all she could really give me was feedback on my numbers and where I
Shocking.
needed to be.
Shocking.
And I remember leaving that meeting just so disappointed and just like, okay. Didn't really know because even when, I would type up my notes and stuff like that, it maybe was maybe once or twice that she had any type of comment or feedback on, what I had done or what I could have done differently. And I do receive feedback very well. And if I'm asking for it, then I'm like, I really need help, you know.
Mm.
And I did not get that.
'Cause I can tell you one thing about that. Needless to say, that particular person did not necessarily understand when I told her that a lot of people, and I talked to some of my friends and just
Mhm.
different walks of life, not related to veterinary medicine. People live off of feedback.
Mhm.
If you don't know how to improve yourself, how am I going to improve what I'm doing on this job? Some people don't even want to be a part of a job if they don't have feedback.
Mhm. Mhm.
But of course, there are reasons why she couldn't give that to you. Because to be fair, yes, she was stretched thin, but also she didn't put in the effort to do so.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just had to throw my 2 cents in there because I experienced very similar situation with her doing that. Yeah, you're doing great. You do. Oh, but you're talking behind my back.
Right, but you're talking about me. Right? Because how can I trust you, you know?
Grow up.
Yeah. And, I remember there was one instance, this was actually life-altering for me from a career standpoint, was again, I was still in training, and, she was still supposed to be mentoring me. And I had started doing surgeries, and I had already done a few spays with her being present. And the next thing I knew was there was a spay that was on the schedule that was a 90-pound mastiff. And I saw that and I was, um, yeah, like, but and this comes back to being an advocate for yourself. And, I saw that, but I just assumed, again, because there was not much communication between us. I
Mhm.
assumed that she also saw that on the schedule as well. And maybe she thought that I could do it. Especially since she was going to be present as well. And, so I didn't say anything, and the day came, and it was still on the schedule, and I'm like, "Okay, I guess this will be doing," like, at some
This is bad. We Lego.
Like, at some point, I'm gonna have to,
Yeah.
graduate to this.
Yeah. Fun.
Um, and,
Babe, I don't care how long you've been doing this. 90-pound dog spay is not fun. It's not fun.
no.
It's not fun.
Mm-mm.
Oh, God.
And the previous space that I had done, with her were both like deep chested dogs
Mm.
as well. So it just was not starting off well with, and then
So,
this baby gets on there and it was going so we're in the surgery now. We're doing
we in the thick of things now.
and it was going very well. And I had already tied off that left uterine horn, and then I was working my way on the right side and
Yes.
tied off. I thought I tied off everything
Oh, child.
until it was ready. I was ready, but
Yeah.
apparently it was not ready. And it was a lot of bleeding. It was
Mm.
a lot of bleeding, and
Ugh.
then I'm trying to find the bleeder. I'm tying things off. And we had to get the other vet. So she even was looking,
Mhm.
scrubbed in as well. And then she wasn't able to locate it. The other doctor that was there, she came in and scrubbed in and had to get involved. And eventually were able to stop the bleeding. Thankfully, again, it was a large dog.
Mhm.
So
Dr. King said it don't matter. Just find it. They ain't gonna die.
yeah,
That's all I remember from,
just
when things start bleeding. It ain't gonna die. Just
just
go find that bleeder. That's my confidence when things start
so we
bleeding.
got it. I like that. I like that. I wish that I
It
had
was true.
had that in
Oh,
my mind at the time because I was so stressed,
I know you
so
were.
stressed. And she did well. I mean, we checked, like her PCV and her hematocrit like afterwards, and it was
Mhm.
fine. And then I did have her come in the next day, and it didn't help that she was a large dog, and so it took her forever to recover.
Yes.
So of course I'm
You're like, are you okay? You're pink?
you're
Are you okay?
pink, yeah.
Are you breathing?
Oh my
Let's
god,
go for a walk.
girl, yeah, get up, get
Signs of life. Signs of life.
So the
It's
next
just,
day, she came back and she just walked in there like nothing ever happened. And
it's
I
just
was that
Barbie
was
and
one of
Beans,
the
girl.
best days of my life.
I know that's true. Why they're so resilient. While we're in there panicking and stressing,
Panicked,
the
panicked.
next day, like, we good? What's up with you? I
Right.
was asleep. I ain't never had drugs before. I like them. I was asleep.
Oh my gosh. But that situation really tainted me to the point where I just did not want to do surgery.
Yeah, that's a confidence
Mhm,
punch.
mhm.
Yeah.
That was traumatic for me, and honestly, I do not do space, Diana. I don't do space.
Said, I'll do your neuters all day. You
Mhm,
don't even do cat space?
mm-mm, and I had never had any issues with the cat space. I had
It's
been
a
doing them all up until that time, and now
scrap all of it. Scrap all the space. Not doing it.
I don't do any space, and that, at this point, it's on me. I mean, at that time, again, I should have been a better advocate for myself. But it also, it provided an opportunity for me to have that experience and to learn things from that. Um, but it traumatized me to where, I've had plenty of opportunities since then to get back in to doing space. But the anxiety also from like going home at night,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
and just thinking about what happened, replaying everything. Um,
Y'all don't pay for the way that y'all's pets live rent free in our heads.
yes, the dream.
Y'all don't pay for that.
Yeah, I dream about, some of these babies, and that anxiety of not knowing, like, did they make it overnight?
Mhm.
Like,
Am I gonna wake up tomorrow and go to work, and they're gonna say, "Hey, you know that spade from yesterday? Listen,
yeah,
please don't talk to me about it."
don't start my day off like that. So, yeah, now, I mean, I do neuters, I do, mass removals, but that is my limit personally with surgery because it is not that is not my niche. I mean, I've done them, well, but the anxiety that I feel beforehand in
Yeah.
preparation even, there's anxiety associated with that. While I'm in surgery, I usually am okay. I am slower, and then the after part, I feel I'm just like, it's so much relief,
Mhm.
then if there was any type of, like, complication or anything, whether it was during surgery or even afterwards, because 'cause they'll come back with all kinda issues,
Them incision
them
problems.
incision problems.
Stop playing with me. I just posted on my VedTales page exactly how I feel. If I had a wig, I would
Oh,
drag. If y'all don't put them e-collars on
girl,
and stop letting them animals jump around,
jump around.
they can eat with the e-collars. Stop playing with me.
Yes. Yes, yes. No, that's not my niche. I have other niches, and that is not mm,
That ain't it.
that's not it for me. So, but, again, I was just like, "Why did she let me do that? Why she let me go through that?"
As much as I would love to say, and this is not a bash the line manager conversation, but this is how people approach things in certain leadership roles, which, everybody, it's a learning curve for everybody. But like, I wish I could say it was because she had confidence in you. Not that she shouldn't have had confidence in you,
Mhm.
but it should have been a gradual
Yeah. It
situation.
yeah, it definitely should have been more gradual. That's how I feel, and when she came in that morning, that was her first time looking and seeing that that pet was on the schedule, and she was like, "Why is this on the schedule?" And she was like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And, so I don't know. I would like to think that if I was in that position, I would, because they have a cloud-based software, so she can see the
Oh, for
schedule
sure.
from wherever. And so I don't know. I just assumed that she had looked at it and figured, okay,
I mean, if you were gonna be in the hospital, I thought she would have looked at the schedule.
yeah,
I ain't see her like that in our hospital, so you've seen her way more than I have
yeah.
seen her in person, I believe.
Well, this was a different corporation. This was a different one.
Okay.
This was a different one, and this was like when I first got in. And when so anyways, that
Yeah.
that was just the trend for our relationship. And so
Yeah.
even when by the time I had decided I wanted to leave because I'm like, I'm really not getting the support that I need, that I so heavily expressed that I needed, the market was divided, so she was no longer my direct manager, and we actually had one that, replaced her that was absolutely amazing, but I was already
Out the door.
out the door, and I feel like that has happened to me on several occasions where it's like, okay, they're trying to do good, they done brought somebody good in, and I am just already just so far gone that, like, I don't care who this person is. Like, I'm
Yeah.
out of here because I don't even feel like the changes that you feel like you can make and implement is gonna make a difference for me because I'm just so
It's not.
far gone.
It's not. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It's not. And I wish I could say that it was a situation in which they are trying to do good. I think it was more of a money move to
Mhm.
buy all the markets. versus, bringing people in that were going to be beneficial to the people, under that particular umbrella. But I think that once you get in that mode of I'm about to go,
Mhm.
and this is me, my personal thoughts about the universe and God and all those things, I almost see it as a test.
Mhm.
Like if they bring somebody in and it's like, okay, this might it might not be so bad, and you stay and you stay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's just this the BS is going to ensue. It's going to continue. And it's gonna be like, dang, why did I stay here? Because I feel like it was very simple, similar to me. I was out on leave. I mean, even though there were a couple of entities that still were there, some of my biggest problems were no longer my problems. And, I had people telling me, you could probably go back. They're not there. And I'm just like, no, no, I think the Lord has led me
Yes.
up on out of there.
Yes.
My health was at risk, mentally and physically. I had my T4 levels were through the roof,
Mm.
and mm-mm, mm-mm. And for those who don't know, so I have Graves' disease, and something that I manage here on out with vitamins because I'm your holistic girl.
Mhm.
I used to be on medication and then I wasn't, and then this job and all this turmoil and
Mhm.
trauma and stress literally when my safety blanket of a manager left, my watch was like 4 weeks ago. Your heart rate wasn't this high. What's up, girl? What's going on? And I
Mhm.
was like,
Mm.
oh, and I kid you not, 3 weeks before that she left.
Mm.
And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
Cause you're not gonna kill me. You're
No.
not gonna kill me.
No.
And of course, I start coming home upset
Mhm.
and it affects my home life and my kids and how reactionary I am to them. Yeah, it just became not worth it. So again, I said all that to say it won't be no better, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't stay to find out either. I was gone. I'm like, you know, she doesn't even work there anymore at this
Yeah.
point. She's not even with that corporation at all.
Yeah.
I think eventually they see the light. I don't know because I haven't been in the leadership aspects, but I just sometimes I feel like, do you not like, I don't know, is it some other type of like just Twilight Zone that y'all are in?
I think you have to have a certain kind of brain to be okay with the stuff that's. If I would have never saw the other side of this, I probably still would be there.
Mhm.
But seeing the other side, I was like, ew, what is happening over here?
Mhm. Mhm.
Even though them conferences they send you to got some real nice swag. I like it. I got a sweatshirt that's amazing. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, how does do you know how much these sweatshirts cost, y'all? God.
Oh, goodness. Yeah,
But
I remember feeling at the first one, I'm like, I had gone there initially, because one of my best friends, she was there and at a different location, and, she was just like, "It's amazing," and
that's what I used to tell people too.
it's amazing. She had got her little sign-on bonus, and I had got and, when I started, I got my little sign-on bonus, which I thought was really something, but
You hear me?
it
Do
really
you hear me?
that one really wasn't, and when I
Not
got
not in the
yeah,
grand
when
scheme of
I
my way
experienced
either.
other things, I was like, "Dang, that really wasn't nothing at all," but, the pay was good, the salary was good, I mean, I try to anytime I have left somewhere, I try to get more for the next opportunity because I'm like, if I don't advocate for trying to get more now, then
If you don't ask,
if you
you
don't
won't.
ask, yeah, you're not gonna get it. So I always try to advocate for getting more than what I was previously making. And so they did that. And you know, it comes with a cost. Like you're
Mhm.
getting paid well, but it definitely comes at a cost. And
Yeah, you paying for yourself.
you paying for yourself,
Actually, you paying
you paying
more.
for everybody else too
Mhm. Mhm.
that's working there.
Yeah.
And it definitely takes a toll on your, mental and your physical well-being. Um, it's awesome and it's very interesting too. I mean, and I know we all have different levels of, capacities and things that we can handle.
Mhm.
People have different, conditions, people have different home lives. And so all
Mhm.
of that makes a difference in what you're able to handle at work. So there are some people where they want their schedules to be packed. And like they're okay with seeing the 30 pets a day and anything that walks through that door, they are saying yes to. Because I understand that it does also, like, yes, you're helping these pets, but you're also getting production as well.
Mhm.
And so I think sometimes, especially if you may be, for in some instances, these may be the only person that's getting like the income in their family. So
Mhm.
they have to, take on that load. And so I respect that. I just am not the person that is, for the longevity of it, able to take on that type of load.
I'm not that girl.
I'm not that girl. I'm somewhere in the middle, like somewhere in the middle. And depending on what the cases are, like I probably could take on, 20 something pets every day,
Yeah.
or 30 pets a day. But that is not
Gotta have the team to do that
you
too.
have to have the support team. Yeah, like that plays a huge role in that. Proper staffing, not sending people home, and people not calling out. Like we can't support that if it's just me, and one or two other people, and they also have to answer the phones.
Child, when I tell you I can remember that conversation so vividly. I said, like, how many pets can you do, Dr. Wilson? I said, I can do a lot, but how many can y'all do? That's the question.
Yeah,
Like, we got to be able to work as a team. It's not just me.
exactly.
Much as, that's how they like to amplify, honestly, veterinary medicine, because I've been on both sides of it. I've seen doctors feel like they're the end all be all. Of course, we're a big part of it, but this is a team. I can't do nothing without my nurse. She
Mhm,
can't do nothing without me, or he can't do nothing about me. Like,
mhm.
yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah, proper staffing is huge because at the end of the day, when it comes down to, having to provide a treatment plan, also,
Right.
that's a different thing for me. I take value in making sure that my notes are good and efficient, and I don't always see the same thing from, you know, the doctor that I may be following behind or from the last visit, and I have to go back and
Mhm.
what happened and took place, and there's, nothing there. And it's not
I need this 4 out of 6 month now in a
right.
week.
It's not to slight anybody, but
Yeah.
that's the type of effort and energy that I'm putting into my day. Is making sure that my notes are complete, making sure that there's something there that somebody can refer back to, especially now with me doing relief. I'm like, there's no opportunity. Like, I'm not going back there the next day to go finish my
And
like,
y'all not calling me.
and I don't want y'all to call me because I didn't do something or I missed something. So, but yeah, I'm like, to be able to do all of that, I'm like, yeah, you're taking in all these pets, and then also there's no time set aside for me to catch up to do my notes. Where I do see that in some clinics, they'll have, times blocked off for catching up, or if like to allow for like an emergency visit or something to come in. And I did not have that in either of the corporate
They're
clinics.
not gonna do that.
And I asked
Time's
about that.
money, and they're not finna block it off.
Mm-mm.
Nah, not gonna happen.
No. So for me, seeing 30 pets a day, or anywhere from 25 to 30 pets, that's too much.
That's a wrap for this episode of Vetted and Vet Man. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did.
We're all about keeping it real, sharing our stories, and creating space for women, especially Black women, in veterinary medicine to feel seen, heard, and supported.
If you love what you heard, don't forget to download our episodes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a review. It helps others find us.
And stay connected with us on social media. We're sharing behind the scenes moments, resources, and a whole lot of real talk. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Vetted and Vet Med, and visit our website at vettedandvetmed.buzzsprout.com.
Plus, join our growing community on YouTube by subscribing to our channel. It's a space for deeper conversations, support, and all the good vibes.
Thanks for vibing with us. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. You've been vetted and vet med.